This article came into being as a result of reading a footnote in a book from the 19th century and realizing that I needed to know more about this particular group of people that the article is dealing with. It's a group of descendants of the conquistadors that are working in 1566 to decide if they want to remain loyal to Spain or if they want to turn Mexico into a kingdom, an independent kingdom with a king. And I didn't know anything about them, and the footnote was mesmerizing. Then I realized the more I knew about them that they deserved to become part of the story, and then later on I realized that they were actually the key to develop my argument through the rest of the book. The article tries to strike a balance between more traditional forms of historiography and contemporary critical discourses. That has a lot to do with my own training. I was trained at first as a philologist, and my first field was Golden Age drama. And then performance theory happened, and it changed everything. And I think my generation is a transitional one that is constantly trying to revisit the past with the tools of the present and finding something, some of the embodiment that contemporary critics have access to when they confront a performance. We would like to take that, put that back into the archive and find those bodies again. I try in my writing to do, if I compare it with a film, I think that every film needs a good close-up moment, and every film needs a good panoramic moment. And I see the theoretical aspect of it as the more panoramic aspect of the article, although it's very closely connected to the topic of 16th century performance in colonial Mexico. By being a theoretical exploration of how we read intercultural experiences, it becomes part of a conversation that is taking place now. And I feel that that's the way we can create a bridge between going back to the archive and engage at the same time the concerns and the worries of our moment in history. As a playwright, I'm used to imagine people, and as a historian, I have to do that. As someone studying history, I have to find stories. As someone editing somebody else's work, as I have been doing for years now at Theatre Survey, I mean, I have to find which is the moment that somehow puts all the facts together, that makes the story coherent, that allows all the different details to coalesce into some kind of bigger picture. Yes, the book which I'll be finishing this year, Atlas, is a study of different intercultural moments in New Spain, as Mexico was known then in the 16th and the 17th centuries, in which some interaction between different cultures all of a sudden produce a provisional identity or a transitory performance that somehow allow everybody to rehearse a new identity without necessarily committing to it. I really like this idea of capturing or catching that flashing moment when people confronted something new, and they didn't even know how to name it, but they understood that something different was happening. It was unexpected to realize, and this is what my article is about in a way, that the Spaniards were assimilating as much to the New World as the Indians were assimilating to the new religion and the new culture that oppressed and conquered them. Usually the story is told from the point of view of how the native culture survives and finds ways of flourishing, creating new languages and new possibilities. We hardly ever see the other side, which is how the Spaniards started at some point to visualize themselves not in European terms, but in Mexican terms. And I find it very interesting to see that intercultural relations go both ways. They are not equal, they are not even, there's always some kind of asymmetric pattern going on, but it happens in both sides. And we have not paid as much attention to how the Europeans somehow adapted and started also to contribute to this new culture. And for me, that was the main surprise, that that was a cast of characters that I was not expecting to take center stage